Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? We're moving closer now to the calendar flipping to June. No kid, Matt. I have a calendar. I see it on my phone every day. Right. Well, in the NFL, June 1st is a very notable day because most contracts are structured to where you often hear the designation about post-June 1 cuts, trades, releases, things like that. And effectively, while you wait, or while there's a structure to wait until post-June 1, is it doesn't give you the necessary cap relief that you may covet as a team before the start of the league year, where you have to be within cap compliance. So, for example, Kirk Cousins, his contract, he signed a 4-year, $180 million deal with the Atlanta Falcons, $50 million signing bonus, $100 million guaranteed. $100 million guaranteed. He played 14 games last year for Atlanta. Man. When you look at what's on the books for the Falcons, and his dead cap number for 2025 is $75 million. Now, post June 1 release, that dead number goes down to $50 million. That is still a massive haul against your cap for someone that's not going to play. But it is $25 million against your cap for a player that you don't anticipate having. So when you look at post-June 1, as it pertains to Kirk Cousins, the question for the Falcons is, do you keep Kirk Cousins on your roster as a malcontent because he wants to be a starter? I mean, he's later in his career. He's a guy that's 36 years old. He'll turn 37 in August. Knows he doesn't have a lot of runway left. Wants to go somewhere where he can play and where he can win. Okay? Those options may not be readily available for Kirk Cousins. But one thing's for certain, as long as he's there in Atlanta, it's Michael Penix's show now. So Kirk Cousins wants out, and the Falcons have a decision to make. Do you grant him that and let him go try to find a place to be a starter where he can play and win, or do you let him sit on the bench behind Michael Penix, maybe as a mentor? And I don't know what Atlanta is going to do. I don't cover the Falcons on a day-to-day basis. I don't have ins within that front office. I don't know. I'm just telling you candidly. I don't know what they're going to do. But CBS had a piece up today listing potential cut and trade, post-June 1 cut and trade candidates. And the first one on the list was Kirk Cousins. And they note Kirk Cousins was a no-show for the start of voluntary OTAs. And he wants a fresh start. As I mentioned, they could save $27.5 million by trading Cousins after June 1st or cutting him. But the real question would be if there's a trade partner. And that's the challenge because, as we often say with trades, you can say you want to trade someone, but you're not just trading for the player, you're trading for the player and the contract. So would another team give Atlanta an asset to take on the remainder of Kirk Cousins' contract? Highly unlikely. They're not going to find a trade partner. So Atlanta's got two options. One, you keep Kirk Cousins as a very, very expensive backup, or you release him. You're now pot committed to Michael Penix. You move on with whatever your quarterback room is going to look like behind Penix, and Cousins has an opportunity to go sign somewhere else. I mentioned this CBS piece. The reason it's interesting is because they do mention potential landing spots as the Saints and the Steelers. And the prediction is that the Falcons will release him, and then he'll sign with the Saints. Now, That's Cody Benjamin over at CBS. That's just one person's opinion. I don't know necessarily that I think there's a tremendous amount of validity to that. And if you're Kirk Cousins, it would certainly stand to reason that you would be more interested in playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers than the New Orleans Saints, because the Pittsburgh Steelers at least are a team that is more stable, more talented, right there around 500. Maybe he could be the thing that pushes them from that 500 record to the 11-12 win season that gets them into the playoffs, and maybe they make a run. I'm not saying I believe Kirk Cousins can or will do that. I'm just saying that's a better option, if available, than to quarterback the New Orleans Saints. Again, that'll all play out how it may. The question to us is, if you're the Saints, would you want Kirk Cousins? By now, you probably know where I fall on this, and the answer is a resounding absolutely. Now, the caveat is, what is the cost? To be abundantly clear, I am not okay trading for Kirk Cousins. I am not okay giving up an asset to Atlanta to take on an aging veteran player. One of my big mantras this whole offseason about the Saints is you need to purge the aging, expensive players and get younger and more affordable. That's how you fix the cap. That's ultimately how you fix your roster. You get younger and less expensive instead of older and expensive. So, that's why I didn't love the Justin Reed signing. I think Justin Reed's a much better safety than anything you had. But you got older and expensive. I want to get younger and less expensive. And that means you're going to stink for a little while, but I'm okay with that because you have to go through it. It's like Andy Dufresne crawling through 300 yards of the most vile stuff you could ever imagine, but that old Mexican island's on the other end that he went to and sanding his boat until Red came and joined him. Shawshank. Anyway, you get the point. You got to be willing to take 2 steps back to take 10 steps forward. So I'm okay with the Saints stinking this year. I don't think they are, but I'm okay with that. I can live with that. I'm not going to sit here and crush them when they lose every week because I understand what they got to go through. Now, so all that to say, I'm not good giving up an asset for Kirk Cousins, but if the Falcons release him and you can go do a manageable 1-year deal for Kirk Cousins, maybe similar to something that we've seen Russ's deal with the Giants. Look at any other aging veteran right now and say, what does their contract look like on a short-term deal? I could easily stomach that for a year, and not only stomach it, I think that's a better option. I mean, I was the one who sat here and said, I am all for signing Aaron Rodgers. And I get it, you're going to roll your eyes about that because of the perception and the darkness retreats and all the stuff that goes along with it. But Aaron Rodgers is a future Hall of Famer. And if I could have him in a quarterback room with my young quarterback that I think is going to be my franchise, I want that mentorship. The same he gave to Jordan Love. The same we talked about that Drew Brees got from Doug Flutie. Yes, I want that. Patrick Mahomes got to sit and watch Alex Smith for a year before he had to go start. I think that could be invaluable for Tyler Shuck and maybe even for Spencer Rattler. So yes, you give me a guy like Kirk Cousins who's 13 years into his NFL career, has started 159 games. He's a 4-time Pro Bowler. He was a guy who himself was a mid-round pick of Washington and had to constantly prove himself. Washington kept franchise tagging him. They wouldn't commit to him. Finally, he goes to Minnesota. They do. He becomes a franchise quarterback in Minnesota. You give me that guy for a year to help my young guys learn and grow and develop? Yeah, I'll take that. By the way, Russ's contract with the Giants is a 1-year, $10.5 million deal. If the Saints could get Kirk Cousins on a 1-year, $10.5 million deal like the Giants gave Russ to bring some veteran leadership stability to your quarterback room, hell yeah, sign me up immediately. So I don't know that Atlanta's going to release him. And even if they do, I don't know that the Saints would be at the top of his list. But if Atlanta releases Kirk Cousins, and if he's willing to sign in New Orleans, then New Orleans should absolutely sign Kirk Cousins because you have to put a veteran presence in that quarterback room. I suppose you don't have to. I mean, you can go into it this way. but it would greatly benefit you, not just on the field in 2025, but long-term as well, giving these young quarterbacks a little bit of a boost as they start their career instead of dumping the weight of the expectation of an entire franchise on a rookie with a new coach and a bad roster around him. Yes, I would welcome Kirk Cousins on a one-year deal to New Orleans if Atlanta cuts him. And how much would he want to stick to Atlanta the 2 times he played? Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.